Good morning. It is 10 a.m., Wednesday, May 9th, 2018. I would like to call this meeting of the Miami Township, Montgomery County Board of Trustees to order. With that, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Berry?
Here.
Mr. Culp?
Here.
Thank everyone for coming. I'd like to welcome our guests for this early morning meeting, moving from last night. We want to make sure we give everyone ample time to get out and vote, so we have moved our Board of Trustee meetings from a traditional Tuesday evening to today, Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. If anyone would like to address the board in the public comments section, we have a small card outside. Simply fill that out and present it to Captain McGill, not the man known as Russ Johnson. And we will let you address the board. So thank everybody for coming. With that, we unfortunately start every meeting with the reading of casualties. Mr. Berry.
I don't think there are any. There are none.
There are none in foreign lands. That is a very good thing. Thankfully for that report. Captain McGill.
For first responders, we have the following list. Deputy James Kirk Jr., 57, Lancaster County Sheriff's Office, South Carolina. End of watch, April 24th, 2018. Corporal Eugene Cole, 61, Somerset County Sheriff's Office, Maine. End of watch, April 25th, 2018. Police Officer Rogelio Santander Jr., 27, Dallas Police Department, Texas. End of watch, April 25th, 2018. Police Officer Charles White, 63, Round Rock Police Department, Texas. End of watch, April 27th, 2018. Police Officer Jesus Cordova, 44, Nogales Police Department, Arizona. End of watch, April 27th, 2018. Police Officer Rob Pitts, 45, Terre Haute Police Department, Indiana. End of watch, May 4th, 2018. Deputy William J. Gentry Jr., 40, Highlands County Sheriff's Office, Florida. End of watch, May 7th, 2018.
We would please observe a moment of silence. Thank you. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I'd like to move into department reports.
Thank you, sir. We'll start with the police department, Captain McGill. Mr. Berry, I understand you have a proclamation for National Police Week.
Just so everyone knows, next week has been designated by the President, May 13th to 19th, as National Police Week, and May 15th is National Peace Officers Memorial Day. So we'll present this proclamation to John Field and our Miami Township Police Department, nationally accredited Miami Township Police Department, all the hard work they do. We really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody have any questions for Captain McGill or myself in the police department?
I have one comment, not a question. I want to thank the Acting Chief McGill for your report to the board. It's very thorough, providing statistics and data. One of the things that might be beneficial, if it's not too heavy a lift, is year-to-date versus prior years. The board has given a very nice report here talking about the number of cases and how they're broken up into various charges. But it'd be helpful if I knew if the trend was up, trend was down, if there were any significant changes. So prior date years. And then I also want to thank for the clarification on the report of, our social media growth. It's nice to see that the police department has, over 2,200 followers, and it is growing. The township, on the other hand, only has 1,471 and only 500 followers on Twitter. So we've got a lot of work to do to get the word out about the township site. So congratulations to the police department. Maybe we'll get a little internal departmental thing, get the township numbers up and rival those numbers. So if you're a friend of the Township Police Department, we'd also like to be a friend of the township itself on Facebook so you can stay informed. But with that, thank you very much for your thorough reporting.
Mr. Mayberry, Public Works.
Good morning, afternoon, Board. Today, I do have two formal items. These are two resolutions before you of similar nature. This is also a joint effort between the Public Works and the Community Development Department, and I want to give a lot of credit to Chris Snyder and the department for their role in putting these two applications together for CDBG funds. There is a short memo that I have drafted before you to support the two draft resolutions, and in a nutshell, the first application for CDBG funds is for the roadway intersection ADA compliant transition ramps. So there are roughly 111 ADA or intersections that are currently in non-compliance to ADA requirements. We do have a yearly program to update these curb ramps, but in being successful with this grant, we would be able to wipe out all the remaining curb ramps in one project, and then it would just be a routine maintenance endeavor from that point forward. The second application for the township would be specifically to two township parks. First park, Miami View Park. Both these parks are located in the northern section of the township, but at Miami View Park, the application is to put ADA access from the parking lot to the shelter house, and then access from the shelter down to the play equipment from the Munger Road lot and also from the Flowerstone lot. Second application, or the second part of that application, is for Layer Park, and similar in nature. It would be ADA access from the parking lot to the shelter at Layer Park and then on to the play equipment. The newly completed play equipment at Layer Park, so I did want to mention that as well. The equipment has been installed. The contractor has a little bit of work to do for grading and some final work, but this discussion about Layer, I can tell you that we have some new play equipment there at Layer Park, so the ADA access would be going to that new equipment. Wrapping up the applications, it should be completed by the end of the week, and then we'll be submitting them before the deadline, which is next Friday.
So if I'm understanding these resolutions, you are asking the Board of Trustees to resolve to allow for the grant to be submitted, knowing that if we win the grant, we are then obligated to allow the work to be moving forward.
Correct, and then we'll be bringing other resolutions if it comes to that. If we're lucky enough to be awarded these grants, then we'll come for further legislation moving forward.
Are these matching grants or these 100% funded grants?
They're currently each roughly around a 10% match for the township, so it's 90-10 right now.
So 90% of this work would be funded through the block grant, potentially 10% by the township.
Correct.
Any other questions for Mr. Mayberry? Move on to Community Development, Mr. Chris Snyder.
I have no formal items for you this morning, outside of, again, we've been working with the Public Works Department on that CDBG grants, those two applications. So if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to take those. Obviously, we've got a number of other projects going on throughout the township, but nothing formal this morning.
Any other questions? And Mr. Connell Hinkleman in Community Development and IT.
I have nothing formal for the board this morning. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have of me.
On to Mr. Clay McCord in Finance.
Good morning, Board. I have one item for consideration. It's an amended appropriation, including 4 parts. One of the prior meetings, we learned that we had been turned down for a grant for one of the park improvements. So we went back and we found some additional funds and got with Mr. Mayberry and refined the cost. So we're appropriating, I'm requesting the appropriation of an additional $15,155 for the parks. As you may have noticed downstairs, one of the compressors has gone out with the HVAC system. So we have a proposal for about a $15,000 repair, which was it was in the middle bid that we had sought from 3 different contractors. Then we also, through oversight on my part, we left the lease payments out on Dan's backhoe and his front loader. So I need to add that back into the capital budget for him. And he also has a request in for a new hot patcher to help with road repairs across the township. And with that, I'll entertain any questions or?
I may not have seen it, but in your comments, you just said that you found the resources for these. Where were these resources found in the budget?
This would be previous appropriations that were unspent in prior years. That I refer to it internally as the residual amount each year. So if we get a more tax revenue collected and we not appropriate all of it, it falls to the bottom, and that's what we've been using for capital improvements in years past. So we're working on a plan internally right now to redeploy those funds, and it just so happens that Mr. Mayberry's needs came up a little bit quicker than I had anticipated, so we're bringing this forward today, and then we'll be back later in the summer with a more robust capital budget for the township.
So we ran a surplus in a prior year, those funds would then go into a reserve account, and we're now appropriating that money out of the reserve account to fund this, which was not in the budget.
They remain in the fund. They're not in a separate reserve fund. They were just leftover funds in there. In this case, it was the road and bridge, and there was some general fund money as well.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Sir, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, with that, we are opening up our public comments section. Does anyone from the public wish to address the board? All right, hearing none, seeing no one coming forward, we will close the public hearing, or public comments section of the meeting and consider resolutions and motions.
I make a motion we approve resolution number 045-2018, a resolution to authorize the submittal of a community development block grant, CDBG program application for the township roads, and to authorize the acting township administrator to accept a program award. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees authorizes the following: Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, and Section 4.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I will make a resolution that we approve, I will make a motion that we approve resolution number 46-2018, a resolution to authorize the submittal of a community development block grant program application for the township parks, and to authorize the acting township administrator to accept a program award. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees authorizes the following: Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
I make a motion we approve resolution number 047-2018, a resolution to amend the appropriations of fund for 2018. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of Miami Township, Montgomery County, Ohio, approves an additional appropriation of $240,655 and authorizes the fiscal officer to notify the Montgomery County auditor as required.
I second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
All right, we have no public hearing. We will open the floor to public officials' comments. Mr. Berry.
Thank you, sir. I had the privilege of attending the Montgomery County Police Officers Memorial with Chief Hess last week downtown at Riverscape, and that was a very neat process to be a part of and to see where they honored the 38 fallen police officers from Montgomery County. And it was very well attended from the law enforcement agencies around Montgomery County, and just wanted to thank Chief Hess for attending with me.
Mr. Culp.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Doug on his victory last night, and looking forward to a busy summer.
So I believe that was an agreement that he would walk neighborhoods. Not being resolved or voted on, just implied. I would like to share that I attended the board meeting of the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission. Was very well attended for members all across the community. They've published, and it's available on their website, a very nice map of all of the trails. We have the largest paved trail network in the nation right here in our area. So something that we want to make our residents take advantage of. Over 340 miles of paved multi-use trails, and they've got a nice little thing also talking about trail etiquette and how to drive your bike at night. So some really good safety tips, as well as some neat statistics on the opportunities to participate in our trail system supported by the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission. Also would like to bring to the other trustees' attention item that we've talked about prior. I forwarded this information to Mr. Berry, who sits on the board with our fire department. Fairfield Township is in the process of constructing a new fire station to replace one on Tylersville Road. The contractor involved with that has given me statistical data, hard fact, that they are charging Fairfield Township 26% more than they need to simply because of the prevailing wage requirement. So that firehouse is going to cost that township an extra $1 million. We have previously discussed asking our legislators to move forward a bill that would give townships the opportunity to opt in or opt out of prevailing wage. Clearly, this contractor has told Fairfield Township, had they got the option, they could have saved $1 million. So just keeping this fire hot so we can hopefully move it forward. I did notice that the bill in the House now has 32 co-sponsors. So hopefully we can get our legislatures to move that forward. That's all I have. Mr. Newell?
I have nothing today.
All right, with that, we are going to move into a study session, and the study session will begin at 10:20. So we'll be moving into the room next door, followed by an executive session, and then we be returning here to the room to finish the meeting.
I need a motion and a second for the study session.
I will
please.
make a motion to start the study session at 10:20.
Second.
No discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
We are coming back from executive session and back into the regular meeting.
I make a motion we approve resolution number 048-2018, a resolution to enter into a contract for health insurance. Therefore, be it resolved, Miami Township Board of Trustees accepts the recommendation. And lastly, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees authorizes the acting township administrator to enter into a contract with Anthem to institute the above insurance plan for the 7/1/2018 through 6/30/2019 plan year.
I'll second. Discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
All right, we have no other items for the meeting. I will call the meeting adjourned at 11:35.